How's it going, everyone? Good morning. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I just thought I would make a morning video. It's something I haven't done in a while. I used to make a video every morning when I'd get up. And maybe I just haven't felt the inspiration lately. But morning's kind of my quiet time. It's the only time when the kids aren't screaming. My kids stay up late, and it's hard to get them to bed, and so I have a couple hours in the morning to chill. Being Thanksgiving and all, I thought I would just take a moment to give thanks for everything that I have in my life. My family, my friends, my health. Sometimes when I'm standing and or just sitting somewhere or standing somewhere, and I realize that I'm not in pain, that I'm not angry, I'm not depressed, that I'm just feeling normal. Sometimes that can be the most wondrous thing, especially if you've ever had chronic pain. I used to have really bad back pain, and so during the times when I'm feeling good, I'm feeling good. And actually, it's funny because last night I went with my oldest son. We went to a float tank, a place in Portland called Float On, and it's those sensory deprivation chambers. I'm sure everyone's heard of them by now. The float tanks, where you're floating in extremely salty water, and it's salty to the point where you're very buoyant, where you can't sink. And I went expecting one of the units, or the tub type units with the closing tops, because I'd never been to this place. And you walk in, and you get your own room, of course, and it's pretty well sound insulated. And the pool's about 9 feet by 9 feet. It's a square. And it's only about a foot deep. And you climb in there and you're like, how am I going to float in this? And you lay down and boom, you're buoyant. And I was laying there for a few minutes. It's a 90-minute float, so it's an hour and a half. And I really wanted to get into that zone, the zone. It's a psychedelic type experience when you can shut out all your other senses, especially feel. And this is why being buoyant in the water is so important. It's crucial to have just the right amount of salt and water to where your body's buoyant, but it doesn't feel like the water's pushing too hard on you. Because when you're laying there, you can feel the pressure of the water. It's the only thing you can feel pushing on you. And it's really weird. But my shoulders were hurting, and I didn't even realize my shoulders were in pain, but it was only because of the way they were sitting in the water. So that was the only thing that distracted me. I had to keep moving my arms like this, and then like this, and like this. But about 45 minutes in, I got into this zone. It was really funny. For a minute, it was the black and white hallucinations. There's a name for that. I can't remember right now, but just all these, actions and explosions and moving white and black colors. And then I sat up when my shoulder hurt for a minute, and all of a sudden it intensified. And even though I wasn't buoyant in the water, I was just sitting there. It's pitch black in the room, so I had my eyes open the whole time, and it's like, all of a sudden they intensified, and then I started hearing these audio hallucinations. And it was very interesting because it was reminiscent of my experiences with DMT. Now, DMT is something that it is just a mind-blowing experience, and it's impossible to discuss. And I don't even try to explain it, but it's a little too much. And my belief is that it's a little overwhelming. And even though it can be spiritual for some people, to me, it's a little bit. It's like McKenna said, it's like being shot through a cannon at the moon. You're just instantly through this tunnel and into this crazy place. But during the experience, these strange audio hallucinations come up. And the only way I can describe it is like a dial-up modem from the 90s, But it's almost like it skips from a high pitch to a low pitch, and it goes back and forth. There's no particular pattern. It's as if you're tapping into the sounds of existence or nature. It's very, very odd, and it's overwhelming. So last night when I was in there in the tub and I had that experience, I said, I was almost convinced myself I must be hearing something outside. But I realized I had these gnarly earplugs in, these huge, just packed into my ears. I was like, no, it couldn't be that. I laid back down in the water with my ears under the water, and I could still hear it. And then it gradually kind of faded out. But that state of mind, it's interesting. It's when you're in the tub, you get to this, it's almost a hypnagogic state, depending on the time of day you do it. Hypnagogia is like that waking up, half asleep, half awake state where you can have visions but not be asleep. It's almost like you're dreaming while you're awake in a way, and that's what I was yearning for. And that's why I went at 7 p.m., because I thought that would be a good time. But they have floats all night long. They have the 90-minute floats, and then they have 120-minute floats, 2.5 hours. What is it? No, they're 120-minute floats. I guess they are 2 hours. I thought they were longer than that. So yeah, those ones are at like 11 p.m. and like 2 a.m. And I thought, how fun would it be to like take a mild psychedelic and go in and float during the peak for 2 hours. It seems overwhelming, and especially if you're claustrophobic, if you're in a dark room, especially when you come to in the tub and you sit up, you have to feel around for the light, you know. It's not that hard to do, but you know, when you're kind of out of it. And so after an hour and a half, I felt pretty, I don't know, it was a great experience. I'll just say I can't wait to go back. It's something that I've had the gift certificate for like a year and I still haven't gone. And so it was great. It was fun. I'm very thankful for the ability to go do that, I guess. That, you know, it seems like many of the things that we have available to us we take for granted. And isn't it funny how humans, seems like humans through history, all we've wanted is stimulation, you know, more excitement. We created games and we wanted more time to do stuff, but eventually we wanted to go back to the simple life. Things were too complex. And, you know, we're so grateful for quiet time, you know, something that was afforded to our ancestors continuously, at least depending on where you lived. But just having that, a quiet hour and a half to yourself, locked in a dark room, floating, it's pretty amazing. It goes by really fast, though. But in today's world, we've got so much to be thankful for. And being Thanksgiving, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, the world could be better. Yeah, it could be utopia. Yeah, it's a oligarchy, and the rich are passing down the money to the rich, and the people are screwed, and our rights are being taken away from us. Let's just say for one day, we forget about all that. It doesn't mean we have to ignore it. Just for one day, though, that we be grateful for what we do have. And instead of comparing ourselves to what others have, we compare it to where we could be, I guess. Anyhow, I guess I'm going to get to work. I'm going to have to cook a turkey, I guess. I hope you all have a great day, a great holiday, whatever it is that you do on your Thanksgiving. And take care. And I'll talk to you soon.